Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy Cookie. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to tell you automatically. It really helps us out. We are on the road to 1K. I truly believe we can do it in the next couple months. But today, we are talking about Fortnite's downfall and how they can actually fix this. In my opinion, of course, because everyone will have different opinions around this topic. I got this idea off of Cypher PK, so I will leave a link to the original video down in the description, but I just want to give my thoughts on this situation that Fortnite is in, since a lot of people are actually scared about Fortnite's downfall. So basically, the first thing I want to bring up is that the game is losing players right now. This is the situation that's in. It's losing players slowly but surely and is quote unquote falling off, even though we have been through this before. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was sometime halfway through chapter 6 that this actually began originally. So that already gives us some hope, you know. If Fortnite can get out of this circumstance of where it is a quote-unquote dead game in chapter 6, then how can they do this in chapter 7? Now, in my opinion, and as a child, in this circumstance, I actually have some, more insight on the child fan base for this game. And people at my school have been saying that, oh, the game is falling off, you know, blah, blah, blah. All that jazz. And personally, I still find hope for this game. The player base is actually still pretty big. It averages 1K, or not 1K, why did I just say 1 million players a day still. So honestly, the game is not really falling off. People are just, you know, making it seem like that. But the reason I think people are saying that it's falling off is because the game, one, does not feel like OG anymore. Now, the main thing that people say at my school is that the game just doesn't feel like it used to. But what I honestly think about this is that it's a complete dumb and honestly really reasonable opinion. Because the game has to update in order for people to even still play. If it was the same game that was back in chapter 1, then there would be way less players. There would be way less collabs, which are a actual good thing for the game. I'll explain that later in the video. But yeah, collabs are actually a really good thing for the game. But I'll talk about which collabs people are complaining about later in the video, as there is a big certain collab that I'm pretty sure everyone knows about that people are complaining about in the community. But honestly, I just think it's a really stupid opinion to have about the game changing and you just not liking the game anymore. Because honestly, everyone has their own opinion, but I find that opinion really stupid. Again, as I said, if you don't update the game, then there's no chance of you having a fan base. Now, I get the fact that people might say that the game's Battle Royale system is not getting used heavily anymore, which ticks me off also. I think this is one of the things they've actually been doing better on this season, is focusing in on Battle Royale and not just the UEFN side of the game. And it's because the UEFN side is basically stealing money from Epic at this point. And anyone who's in UEFN just does not deserve the millions of dollars that they are getting paid to put out UEFN maps. And even though I think the UEFN maps are actually needed, like the practice maps and stuff are really, really good for pros, I honestly do not see a situation where UEFN creators deserve millions of dollars paid. In fact, I find it really, really dumb. I think they should only get maximum of half a million pool of money to split into that. But that's just me, because I am not that much of a UEFN guy. As I said, most of the UEFN maps are literally just brain-rotted, zero IQ maps, or just copy and pasted red versus blues, which really ticks me off, man. Like, I wish people had a bigger brain than they have right now, but hey, I mean, if Fortnite is paying out millions of dollars to useless maps, then why not create one yourself, you know what I mean? Now, next thing I want to talk about, and something I mentioned earlier, was the collabs that are coming into the game. And how they are not a problem, in my opinion, because it brings more people to the game. But there is one big collab, in my opinion, that was never needed at all and is really just a useless collab. And I find some other collabs to be in the same insight, and that is, of course, the Brain Rot collab that just came to the game a couple days ago. That's right, the Tung 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 Sahur and Ballerina Cappuccina collab is probably my least favorite collab, if I'm being honest. I know a ton of people really hate this collab. My honest words on it is, it does not bring anyone to the game. Like, the only thing you are getting into the game is some random brain-rotted crap. That's all you are bringing to the game. There's like no... I know there's a huge fan base behind it, but at the same time, they are not popping off their freaking favorite game, freaking Steel Brainrot. They're not hopping off of Steel Brainrot. That's like the only thing. You are basically bringing people to UEFN maps. Because all the people behind the Brainrot fanbase probably do not want to play a game about shooting other players and being competitive. They just want to grind kids' games where they can use barely any of their brain. Which, I mean, reasonably so. I mean, there's like 50,000 iPad kids who play video games. I'm not really surprised. You shouldn't be surprised at all that Kids these days are mad brain rotted. It's just what kids freaking do. Um, you. There we go. All right. My next thing I want to bring up is the V-Bucks changes. Now, these changes have really pissed people off as Fortnite is using their spending money very stupidly, in most people's opinions. I feel like that's a reasonable opinion. They should not have brought back The Rock to play the Foundation. That's my opinion. But they should pay at least to keep The Rock's face in the game. So then we can have the Foundation, of course, as the same dude. Because I feel like it would be really stupid if we just, like, had a different character model for the Foundation. No, that's just me, though, of course. And as I said, every single person has a different opinion about the game. My final thing I want to bring up is that there's one question really floating around in people's minds right now, and that is Fortnite going to die off whenever GTA 6 comes out? Personally, my answer is no. No, Fortnite will live through the GTA 6 rally thing. I honestly believe there's a big chance that Fortnite survives if they, of course, update. Well, my bad. I'm locked. I'm locked into this game. I'm locked into this game. Don't worry. But yeah, I see why people believe this to be the case, as every single person is going to run the GTA 6. But what are the chances that GTA 6 is really bad? And personally, I'll be playing it whenever it comes out, as most kids will. It's just going to be really a fallout of schools and shiz, because every single person has been waiting years for this. But I honestly do not see kids, like little kids, playing GTA 6 and their, like, parents allowing it. So I don't really see anything happening whenever GTA 6 drops. But hey, I could be wrong. It's all up to circumstances at the time of the drop. If it, like, becomes a huge trend that GTA 6 finally drops. But my final answer is no, Fortnite will not die. It's really unkillable unless they full-on just murder the game. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I do believe there is still hope for this game. Peace, love, leave a like if you have enjoyed. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.